First of all,
Kira. Kira.
oh, here you go. Here you go. Thank you. Appreciate you.
It's visitation time, honey. Like,
and that's what you need to understand.
Okay, and I'm understanding that.
So why are you still here?
Because I can be.
No, you can't. Honestly.
So,
I'm not going nowhere. So.
That's cool.
Y'all having y'all visitation?
All right.
Yeah, okay. So when Erica come back. Now, was y'all supposed to go to the mall? Was y'all supposed to go to the mall?
I don't know what the plan is now.
The plan was dinner.
Dinner?
Yes.
A supervised dinner?
No, it wasn't no supervised dinner.
It's never clarified, supervised, unsupervised.
All right, so why are you still here?
Because it's going to be supervised.
This
is my order.
Okay, Kira.
When I first saw this video, I was infuriated. I cannot understand for the life of me why mom would be interrupting dad's visitation except for control. And unfortunately, I have seen lots of moms wanting to control dad's visitation, how he's doing it, what he's doing, trying to figure out something. And lots of time, what I have experienced is that mom is just want to make dad miserable. And the person that get hurt in this the most is the child, because the child is observing this interaction, this tension between mom and dad. And the person that's really at fault is mom. So I want to break down this video. In the video, there was a question about whether or not the visitation is supervised or not. And there was also some discussion about whether or not who's going to visit, who's going to do the supervision, and where does it say. So a few things. Generally speaking, if an order does not say anything about supervision or the visitation is supervised, more likely than not, the visitation is not supervised. Also, if the visitation does not have a person's name or a location where the visitation should be supervised, oftentimes, more likely than not, it is not supervised. And in this particular instance, those were questions that were posed by what I presume is the grandmother and also the dad. And mom, who is Kira, she says she's going to do the supervising. Again, I just don't understand why mom feels compelled to be there. And honestly, to me, this is an embarrassing position. At least mom should be embarrassed, because to interrupt a dad's visitation with his child, it looks like you are desperate. And what desperation you have, I cannot imagine. But in that same token, or in that same phrase, I can't imagine what purpose you have for being there, except to just be antagonistic. Okay, so with all that being said, what can a dad do in a situation like this? Well, in this instance, he has a court order, right? So I would take the court order to court, right? I would file a motion for contempt. And that motion for contempt, I will let the court know that she is interrupting the visitation. Now, in my practice, we want to be able to show a pattern. So one video is not necessarily a pattern, but oftentimes than not, mom is almost always doing this consistently, either in the telephone visitations, either in the picking up the child. Sometimes she said the child doesn't want to come with you. Or she might call and say, well, okay, I need her to come back here. I need you to bring the child back, even though visitation is not supposed to end for several hours later. But because mom wants it, the dad needs supposed to do it. So I would see if there's a pattern of mom interrupting visitation. And that can look like anything. It doesn't have to be as elaborate as this video where the dad and his family and the child were at a restaurant. And I will go to court and ask the court for a modification of the parenting. And I will ask the court for attorney fees. And I ask for sanction, because this woman, for whatever godly, earthly reason, feels compelled to interrupt this man's visitation with his child. And the child is looking at this. And so What if the establishment decided to call the police, right? Unfortunately, there's a great chance that dad might have left the restaurant in handcuffs because let's face it, most times people believe the mom, right? And because people believe the mom, dad almost always is liable or guilty of something. And what will happen if that child saw that? That child is going to look at this situation, will negatively be affected, and will think her dad did something wrong. Meanwhile, the child is going to be looking at mom as this hero because mom called the police. The police is the good guy. This is what we've been taught. And dad must have done something wrong. And the child will start to have a believe and a mindset that dad is bad because the police came and got daddy. This is why this is dangerous. This is why this is harmful. And this is why this type of behavior is not in the child's best interest. This is also why the court will more likely to be in favor of reversing, changing, modifying custody where there is an overbearing, unnecessary woman interacting or interfering with dad's visitation. Okay? There's another thing that I would like to talk about, which most people would not actually think. And that is that in the background, we hear what I think is grandma or auntie or something like that. And in one hand, auntie is, or grandma is actually trying to diffuse the situation, which for what it's worth is a good thing, right? However, in my experience in practicing law and representing fathers, I have found that when a woman is the one that is the advocate for dad and his rights pertaining to his child, it is problematic because what's happening is that you're not allowing the dad to take responsibility and stand on authority of what needs to happen. Instead, you are taking on that position for him. Almost 100% of men that have come to my office at the behest of his wife, his fiance, his girlfriend, or his mother, they almost always let these women take control. And when they let these women take control, they don't know what to do when the woman's hands are off. For example, if we have a hearing and mom or grandmom or the fiance or the wife has been the one that's talking the whole time, when the court asks the dad a question, guess what? He won't know how to respond because who's been answering for him? The voice that you hear, mom, grandma, whoever that is, should not have been speaking because dad needs to take responsibility. This is his mess. This is his stuff that he's created. And for what it's worth, dad looked like he was handling it. It may not be the way that mom would have handled it or grandma would have handled it, but it looks like he was handling it. And I would say to women who find themselves in situations where the man in your life has an issue with a woman who's going through a custody battle, let that man handle his business on his own. You can encourage him, you can support him, but in terms of doing the work, in terms of making sure that stuff gets done, that's just not the best way to go. Because when it comes down to the bottom line, to the nitty gritty, he's going to have to stand on his own, especially if he has to go to court. You're not going to be there to testify on his behalf. And if he doesn't get into a point or a rhythm or a practice of being able to stand on ground and stand on road about what needs to be said, what needs to be done, why you want this modification, then he will not do well in court. In my office, when I have a father that comes here and his mom or grandmom or anybody else is talking, I will say to them politely, listen, this is your son's case and I need to talk with him. You're welcome to be here during our conversation, but he needs to be the one to answer. Anyway, these are my thoughts. Y'all let me know what you think. I just wish this was not the case. And unfortunately, this happens quite often. Anyway, this is attorney Ella Hughes, the father's advocate, and the bulldog attorney fighting for justice. And I'll leave you as I always do. Don't stop fighting. Your children do need you.